Yo, it's the Co.
And yo, it's the Cone. And today, we're going to be talking about the best and worst transfers from this season. Season's coming to an end, so we're going to talk about the people that have recently joined their teams and have either exceeded or not exceeded expectations.
We have 5 players in each category. We have 5 of the best and then 5 of the worst, including 10. So it'd be 10 players. We're gonna go from the 5th best or 5th worst to the first best and first worst, just to kind of keep you guys on the loop. Just to not say, "Oh, here's the best player," and then keep going down. It's just to show you who was the worst out of all of them and who was the best out of all of them.
Yeah, and our lists were, our thoughts were pretty similar on it, so it's one cohesive list for the two of us. Marco, would you like to start us off with our 5th worst?
Our 5th worst, we're gonna put the entire Chelsea signings. Yeah. Minus one player, we'll talk about him. But everyone who came into Chelsea in the summer of last year and in the winter of this year. It's very sad to see all these players get paid so much money just to not exceed and to be in the cusp of being in 13th place as we speak.
Yeah, the players have not been great. There are a couple exceptions. We'll get to them. Someone that we don't have on our best list, but hasn't been that bad, is someone like a Wesley Fofana. Like, he hasn't been bad. But, I mean, you look at Sterling, who just has not been great. You look at someone like Mykhailo Mudryk, who very talented, but hasn't really had the product this year. There are others. We could go on and on, but you see their place in the Premier League, and yeah, it's not great.
Like, I was surprised that they beat Dortmund in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Or in the round of 16, and you saw how bad they were against Real Madrid, a very good team who spent basically no money over the summer and over the January transfer windows. And to see a team like Chelsea spend over $500 million, over half.
Yeah. For summer and winter, it was like $500 million.
Just lose so many games and just not score goals. I know they had one goal in April. It was an okay goal, and it was their best goal of the month, which was very sad to see.
Real disappointment. Our 4th worst player that we have is Anthony Gordon. Fair play to him for escaping the relegation side of Everton and going to Newcastle, but he left the club he's been at for his entire life since he was a little kid. Went up through their academy, takes this big transfer fee while really not being that great this year. Takes the big transfer fee, goes to Newcastle, and doesn't get any better. Hasn't been great, hasn't helped them much towards their run to the Champions League, and yeah, it seems to have pretty bad attitude problems as well.
It's sad. It's horrible to see a player like him just not perform. Luckily, he did, like Aidan said, he did escape relegation from Everton. But I didn't see him as a good signing. One, because Newcastle have a lot of great attacking players like Almiron, Isak, who just recently signed too. He's been performing very well, and I don't see a very good spot in the team in him right now. Maybe he does perform very well next year with more football time, because they will be challenging in Champions League. They'll be having in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, so he might see more playing time and maybe more scoring opportunities. And then the third one we have, it's a player that we've liked to talk about. Aidan loves to talk about him. It's Felipe Coutinho. You want to start it off with him?
Yeah, I will. It's such a disappointing signing for Aston Villa, because he was such a talented player. His whole career, really. In the Prem originally, at Barca he was great still, or even when he didn't meet expectations. He was still a very good player there. He was good at Bayern. Comes to Aston Villa, and he has 1 goal this season. No assists. He was a real playmaker in his best day, and now he's not getting the assists. He's not scoring the goals. He's just kind of like a rotation player, and for 20 million, you don't really want to just get a rotation guy.
Like I have put him in the overrated earlier this year. Like a player who leaves from the top 2 clubs in the whole world, like Real Madrid and Barcelona, they leave for a reason. This team sold them for a reason, and Coutinho got sold for a reason because he wasn't performing very well in Barcelona. At first he was, but after that he wasn't. He came back to the Prem, wasn't performing. He got sold to Aston Villa for 20 mil. The worst 20 million signing I think Aston Villa could have done. They could have got more players who are younger for 5 mil and could have invested in 4 of Coutinho's. Instead of they wasted $20 million on a rotation player who is a bench warmer, who doesn't score goals, who doesn't assist, who is just a waste of space on the field.
Yeah, it is very disappointing to see him not be the player that he once was. Our second worst signing for this season is Calvin Phillips. Marco, I'll let you talk about Calvin Phillips first.
Yeah, he's been okay. He barely has any playing time. When he does get playing time, it's usually the last 40 minutes or 30 minutes of the games. I do see him a lot on the FA Cup side. I did see him a lot when they beat Burnley 6-0, but that's against Burnley. No harsh feelings to Burnley. They're a very great team that we're going to see next year a lot. But when you have no playing time with a great midfield like City has, it's disappointing to see you performing below average on this team.
Yeah, 50 million signing and struggles to see the field there. Still makes the squad for England, which is good for him. But you have someone like a Rico Lewis, like a young kid, academy kid, getting in over the 50 million euro, pound, dollar, whatever signing, and it's not a good look for Phillips. I know Pep talked about him showing up post World Cup like overweight, out of shape, which maybe he just doesn't care. Maybe he got his money and that's it. But we don't wish any bad on these players. It's just been unfortunate one way or another.
And the final player we have is our top. It's Richarlison. He's been very horrible in the attacking for Spurs. He's another player that escaped relegation from Everton. I feel like Everton could really use him now. I feel like he fits better in Everton. It wouldn't shock me if I see a loan this summer with him, because he does have a lot of games with 0 goals. A lot of the goals he does contribute to are offsides, and he does get very frustrated with that. I think a loan to a struggling team in the Prem, or even a team who's fighting for promotion, would be a great fit for him.
Yeah, I mean, they have him essentially playing on the wing because of Harry Kane, and it's just not his strong suit. He was good at playing through the middle, both for Brazil and for Everton. And maybe if Kane goes, he has more success, and he starts playing through the middle more. But an entire Premier League season with no goals as an attacker, playing a lot of minutes, is not indicative of a good signing, especially when it lasts for an entire year.
Richarlison just scored his first goal. This is definitely going in the video. This is definitely going in the video. That wraps up our worst signings of this year. Our fifth best signing is Tyler Adams. As you can see, he does have his jersey. I'll let you talk about him first.
Yeah, it was just a great signing. I mean, it was for $17 million, so a lot less than some of the other defensive midfielders that signed and didn't live up to expectations. Really helped Leeds before he got hurt and ended the season. But he was just like a rock in the midfield. Most likely, if Leeds get relegated, he'll be going to a bigger club. The transfer value increased. He captained the U.S. at the World Cup. So he's got great leadership qualities and backs it up on the pitch as well. Great signing.
I do say he was a great signing. He did lead the United States to a round of 16 appearance as their captain. He's been playing very well before he got injured. There were scary moments of him before the World Cup that he would get injured or he was going to get injured. I know a lot of U.S. men's national team supporters were very scared about that, like Aidan. But it was a great signing for $17 million. If Leeds do get relegated, I do see him coming to a mid-table team in the Prem, like Fulham. Brighton could have a chance to get him, like one of those teams who are fighting for not a European spot, but a Conference League spot.
Yeah, it was a great signing. Our fourth best player is Jules Koundé. Marco is our resident Barcelona expert. What would you like to talk about?
He plays very well alongside Araujo. He does make a little bit of mistakes, but those mistakes do get made up with the defending he does. He is one of the strong reasons Barcelona are on the route of winning the league. He's a very great defender for a very reasonable price. His transfer market price did increase a little bit because of his performance this year, and that's why I see him as a great signing this year for Barcelona and for where is he from again?
France. Yes.
And I feel like he could be a part of France's strong defense in the next Euros.
Yeah, really young player, making great performances for Barcelona. Seems like he's going to be there for a really long time and help them win the league, the cups, the European championships. A very important player for them.
Our third player we have is Enzo Fernandez, the one exception we have off of Chelsea. I know he's probably not doing better than the other signings, but it's not his fault. One, he has no one around him performing like he does. His first game there, he got man of the match off of the Chelsea squad with no shots on target, with no contribution of goals because they don't score goals. And to see a player come in for $120 million and perform better than the other signings is why we put him in the best.
Yeah, the all-time record-breaking fee for the Premier League, and he comes in and just puts in good performance after good performance. He's like, he's the exception to this Chelsea season, I think. It's a lot of players that don't seem to have direction, and Enzo seems to get them as close as possible to succeeding. Next season, the season following, whenever they turn it around, he's going to be a focal point of that team, without a doubt.
Our second is Lisandro Martinez, a United defender. I'll let you talk about him more.
Yeah, Lisandro Martinez. He got signed from Ajax in the summer transfer window. At the time, people thought that the fee was a little much. But then he comes in from game one that he played. Okay, game one that he played, they lost 4-0. From game two that he played and on, he has been arguably one of the best defenders in the Premier League and maybe even in the world. His partnership with Varane reminds a lot of United fans of the Vidic and Rio Ferdinand partnership that was there a while ago. It was really unfortunate to see him get hurt. But at the end of the day, he'll be back for next season, and he's just such an important player. Really a great defender, great on the ball, just useful everywhere for them. And he's going to be a wonderful United defender for so many years.
I do say he was one of the best signings in the defensive side of the Prem. He came into a struggling defensive side of United. I feel like they only had 2 defenders at the time. And then he kind of changed the atmosphere there. And he showed everyone that United could be a force to be reckoned with. And the way he played throughout the season, and then you saw how much they struggled the game after he got injured with a draw, and then the game after that, you saw how the defense struggled very hard with Harry Maguire and Lindelof in the lineup. They do miss a very short defender, but he's
short.
Oh,
he is short.
he is short, but that's where a lot of people were saying that he wouldn't fit well because of how short he was. And he showed that no matter how short you are, you can still be a great defender. And I am very scared for next year when him and Varane are healthy and City are trying to fight for the title against United, because Arsenal are not getting that chance anymore.
It's a win for the Short Kings. Number 1, the best signing of the season. I don't think this should come as a surprise to many people. At the time of recording, broke the Premier League scoring record all time. It's Erling Haaland. Marco, I'll let you take over for it.
He is playing so good. People were scared that his injuries were going to be the big factor of him not performing well in the Prem. People were saying it was too much of a jump for him. And he showed everyone the first couple game days, like, he's a great player to play. He had 2 hat tricks in the matter of 2 games. He had a week where he scored 8 goals. And for a transfer budget of 60 million, and it keeps rising, I know that the clause for him to leave City is 1 billion. I don't think he leaves City. And City are not affording or accepting anything under 300 million for him. Haaland's going to be the best player in the whole world. He's going to be top 3 goal scoring in the whole of football in 20 years. He's going to be in the Mount Rushmore of GOATs in soccer, next to Ronaldo, next to Messi. He's going to be the best all-time scorer in City's history, in Premier League history, in Norway's history, like all of the league. He's going to be the best player in England at one point. He's going to be the best player in his country like he is right now. And he's going to be the best player in the world in the next coming years.
Yeah, I mean, he just scores goals. He's always in the right spots. It seems like in the last couple of months, he's finally getting comfortable to the point where, like, he's getting the ball in his foot and just going with the ball instead of, just scoring like the tap-ins or whatever they were saying. Just doing those like pointless back passes in build-up play. He's really becoming direct with the ball and becoming a threat, not just in the box, but building up to the final attack as well, into the final third. If he leaves City, it's going to be a remarkable transfer fee, and it's not going to be for a pretty long time. I don't think it's scary playing against him because you know what's coming every single time. Yeah, I think it's easily the best signing this season, and probably will be the best player in England, maybe in the world, for a few good years.
And he just doesn't only score goals. He has 34 goals in all competitions.
He has 50 goals in all competitions.
50 goals in all competitions?
34 in the Prem.
I know he has 10 plus assists already. He's giving Kevin De Bruyne a lot of chances. He's giving Ahrix a lot of chances. He's giving Julian Alvarez a lot of chances. Like, he's not just scoring goals, but he's also supporting his teammates to score goals. And he's not a selfish player like some other GOATs, you know, Ronaldo. He kind of reminds me of a Messi when he first started off. Kind of just wanted to win.
Big Messi.
Yeah, he's like huge Messi. He just wanted to win, wanted to score goals. He didn't care if all of his other teammates scored. He just wanted to win. He wanted to win everything. And it's going to be sad because I don't think he's going to win a World Cup ever. Ronaldo never won a World Cup. I don't think he's going to win a World Cup. And I don't think Mbappe is going to be... He's going to be the GOAT, I know, because of all the trophies he's won, the team he's built around. But I think Erling Haaland's going to be the underdog for GOAT in his time because of the goals he scores, because of how non-selfish he is. And his personality is very, very great.
Yeah, I'll give you that. He's funny. He's funny. And for a guy that scores 50 goals, like, you would expect him to just kind of get the ball and shoot every time. And it's crazy, like, it's crazy how unselfish he is while also scoring so many goals. Like, I didn't want City to sign him from Dortmund just because I do really like him, both as a player, and he seems to be, like, really, like, a really good teammate, really good person. Yeah, it sucks that that's the team that he had to go to, but he's been incredible.
Doesn't suck for me.
Oh, well, that is our best and worst transfers from this season. If we missed any, if you disagree with some of our picks, let us know in the comments section below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment any other suggestions you may have going into the off season to the international breaks. You know, there are plenty of options. And you got anything else?
I know we will be watching the FA Cup final, June 3rd. That video should be up, I think, the Monday after the cup is over. We are also watching the Champions League final. Hopefully, City come across both of them. But yeah, those are the two major viewing parties that we're gonna see, or we're gonna show out to you guys. Give us ideas of what you would like to see too, and we can give you some score predictions beforehand. We can do like a video, YouTube short, and upload it before the game, and then we can show the outcomes after.
Yeah, I think that's about all. Yeah. Till next time.